Alright everybody, welcome back to the channel. It is Maddie here from Chill TCG. Today we're going to be watching the Grand Finals match live here. This is a live recording we were watching live here. I'm joined with Zach Lesage, my good friend. He's going to be helping me cast. In the finals, we have Kirby98X. I believe this is Boo. Some of you guys might know him as Boo. And then on the other side, we have Trainer Chip. Boo, this is going to be an Etern mirror, Zach. I believe this is the Weavile version. Weavile GX versus just a straight Etern Hammers build. Very excited, Zach. You've played a lot of Etern. If you had to pick one of these lists to win, just right off the gate, who would you pick?
That's tough. I don't know too much about Boo. I haven't heard much about Boo, but I have heard of Trainer Chip. Not too much as a player, but more as like an official Pokemon commentator. I know Twitch. I know that Chip definitely streams on Twitch and has a YouTube channel and stuff like that. So definitely knows what they're doing. I have tested the Weavile variant a little bit. I'd say that the lack of Crushing Hammers in Boo's list is eventually going to cause harm, because Chip doesn't need to worry about defending energies. It doesn't necessarily matter so much. It's more about applying pressure in this type of scenario.
Right. I agree.
think the inconsistency brought by Sneasel and Weavile GX being added into the deck, and other things such as Umbreon Darkrai GX, probably will lead to Trainer Chip winning this. However, I mean, both lists are similar enough where I think anything could really happen here. We'll have to see what happens to the games.
Yeah, I think that the GX attack on Umbreon Darkrai can be very good, and I do think that the Weavile variant is very good, just overall for the kind of the leeway that it gives you with the limited amount of energies that you can really have in the deck and get into play with Etern here. But I think that Hammers is always going to be beneficial in the mirror matchup. We do see that Kirby here does get the turn 2 Power Accelerator off, but, Chip here, he's in a pretty decent position depending on what his hand looks like, right? I mean, he's got the Etern with the energy, so, we could potentially see a really big turn from him, or we could kind of see a flop in terms of the cards that he's able to play. So overall, it's early in the game here. It's going to be a great best-of-3 set. A very fitting way to end the last tournament of this format, Zach, having 2 Eternatus decks here in the finals.
Yeah, 100%. Etern's been tearing it up, and I mean, I think everyone at this point is kind of excited with Battle Styles coming out, that there's finally kind of a counter to counter in the form of Urshifu to Eternatus.
Right, I agree. I think that most people are going to be pretty bit happy with Etern having a little bit of a check, as well as Peak, although Peak hasn't been too tremendous in the last month or two. That is unfortunate there for Chip.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate. You hate to see it on any side. When it's the defensive boss's orders play. I think it's better to go with the quick ball first.
I would say so.
And so, we'll have to see.
I like grabbing the Sneasel as well. Here we know we can Crobat for 4. We're kind of just chilling. The Swell there, not going to be too big of a deal. The rest of the hand is something that you can't really do too much here. Like, I guess you could research your Marnie out, and maybe
you have to go in with the research.
You got it, right?
No matter what, I think you have to just hit. Otherwise, you just give. You can't Marnie back.
It's a good hand to draw into. Pretty good hand to draw into.
Well, the issue here that makes it awkward is in order to get the last Pokemon down, that leaves Boo in a case where Boo might not necessarily have a good hand next turn. It's going to be all off the prize cards here. Yeah,
and he's grabbing, looks like he's looking for a Hoopa here off this quick ball, which I don't quite understand personally.
The here because the Crobat was already played.
Right, but for next turn, right? You don't really have anything to progress next turn.
Well, it's one of those things where you either get the knockout or you don't. So
he's just going off the prizes.
Knockout or not.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah. It's one of those things where Chip has a rough start, but getting that quick ball there, this might just pop Chip back into the game.
You gotta hope so. If you're Trainer Chip here, you really gotta hope to draw something nice off those 4 cards. We'll see. I mean, he is getting the damage off on an Etern, first, right? Which is always beneficial because it really comes down to whoever KOs a couple Eterns first. But taking 2 prizes early in the game for Boo is definitely not going to be bad. He gets Marty into a hand that's not necessarily terrible at all. A good hand, rather. We see a hammer come out. That's Tails. Okay, these hammers are very important in this matchup.
Yeah, the Weavile kind of solves that, and especially we can see with that Pokemon communication with Zigzagoon, and it looks like Chip really did nothing there.
Wow, yeah.
Just the deck seems it got Chip all the way to the finals, but not necessarily. It's we're running out of steam here. I think both players are running steam. They used all their gas earlier on.
Yeah, for sure, man. It's definitely one of those things where the early game is so important in any matchup when you're playing Etern, but especially the mirror matchup here. And you know, Chip, he's kind of gone through a good bit of his deck here, right? I think we saw Crobat and Marnie. You know, you would think that he would be able to progress his board state a little bit more to this point, but sometimes that's just how it goes. Unfortunately for Chip, we're going to see Kirby here. He grabs the Weavile, which could be very, very nice, and he's going to be able to probably just research out this hand, which...
Yeah, that's basically... The Weavile is going to make Chip's Crushing Hammer is basically immune, because now Boo can kind of accurately move the energies around wherever... and not have to worry about being like, I've attached my energies to this Etern. So in this case, it's just making the deck more hammer-proof, and then getting those hammers on top while Chip is already behind.
Insane.
I think it's safe to say that unless we see a disconnect here, I think Chip's going to choose who's starting very soon.
For sure. I mean, I guess it's just one of those things where even if Chip has the perfect turn here, gets the full board set up, you know, gets the KO on Boo's Etern, from there you just don't really have anywhere to go, right? Because, you know, missing an attachment on a second Etern for the last turn there was really the make or break it point. And back to sort of...
We're just going to see something go down here. With the 10 damage being put down, oh, I guess we're not going to be knocking out this Eternatus VMAX here in the active spots. I was going to say that 270 plus 60 is 330.
Yeah.
But if we get the Zigzagoon onto this Pokemon, that's why I'm uncertain why Chip put the Zigzagoon damage on the Eternatus V on the bench.
Yeah, it's a little bit interesting. Maybe he's yeah, you know, I can't really... Maybe he's running more than one Goon. Maybe he was looking for just like a boss KO that Etern. But overall, I think that the only thing you can do here is maybe defensively boss something on Boo's bench and then just hope he doesn't have a way to switch out of it. But
well, it's not even a thing about switching out of it. You can't defensively move anything anymore because of Weavile.
Yeah, they'll just move energies. Yeah, that's so true.
So even at the cost of losing a couple energies, I think at most right now on Boo's board, there is just 2 retreats. So it's going to be one of those things where, oh...
Yeah.
Just turn after turn.
Oh, the boss, bro. The 2 boss in hand 2 really kind of...
pour out your cup right now for training Chip.
I mean, maybe he'll bounce back in game 2, right? I mean, this is something that typically doesn't always happen.
In game 2 and game 3. But it's going to be one of those things where I think this is just a runaway game. But yeah, exactly.
Going first, definitely the smart decision. I think, although the Power Accelerator is good, I think if you're Chip, you know, you really just got to hope to get that nice turn 2 attack off.
Well,
and
I think Chip said they're going first.
Right. No, I think that's smart from Chip, going first.
So you can't use Power Accelerator on your first turn.
Oh, did I say Power Accelerator? That's my bad. That's my bad.
Yeah, no worries. That being said, we'll have to see exactly. The issue that could come at hand here is going first, obviously, is going to give you that potential first energy attachment.
Right.
And gives you an opportunity to go attack
on turn 2, yeah.
Their Etern or whatever it is going on your second turn.
And you can KO the active, right? An active Etern technically, like going first, and I think that's the potential that you really have to hope for if you're trainer Chip right now.
First, any deck that's playing Crushing Hammer, Power Accelerator is more than the safe way. And if you don't find access to that Etern and energy, it's almost as if you Crushing Hammered yourself. So I mean, Chip's doing a good job so far with an Etern. Will Chip find an energy?
We'll have to see.
That's a solid question. Okay.
Burning some cards, perhaps, for a Crobat.
For Crobat? Yeah.
Okay, so we get the Goon early ping here on the Hoopa. I think, of course, you just want to get that out of your hand to draw some extra cards. Not that 1 damage on Hoopa is going to be super, super important. And now he's not in a terrible position. I mean, depending on what his hand looks like. But Boo top decking that Etern there, very, very nice. I mean, he has Calm anyway. But I think that, you know, I think he's feeling pretty decent. Probably going to calm away the Umbreon Darkrai. Not super needed. Grabs the Crobat. I kind of like that. You have nothing really progressive in your hand, right? So I guess that's going to be a priority. But,
exactly. Well, I mean, yeah, that was pretty much the best top deck beyond a quick ball that Boo could have got there. So, I mean, I think it's one of those things where we got to see what this Crobat brings. I don't know if it's going to be a Power Accelerator turn, because at this point, I think Boo's really looking for a Crushing Hammer heads.
I agree. I think that's definitely the most important thing. We don't see a Hammer, but we do potentially see a Power Accelerator coming out this turn. But the problem with that is you don't really have anywhere to go from there. I mean, you have an extra energy, but you lose the VMAX if you do Power Accelerator to another Etern. So I think if you think of your Boo, you might just want to pass for next. Unfortunately.
Yeah, I think passing is probably the correct call here. Because at this point, if you were to go with the Power Accelerator play, you can't really sacrifice your hand.
Right.
You really need to keep that Pokemon in your hand in order to get a Crobat to compensate with the Pokemon Communication. And it's one of the, like, it's also, you're facing Trainer Chip's potential Eternatus VMAX.
I agree. And we'll see what Chip has in his hand. So far, looking much more fortunate this game than last game. You know, if we see maybe like an Energy VMAX, maybe even a boss to a 220 KO on that Etern V this turn, I mean, I think that's potentially just the best thing that could have possibly happened to Chip. But that's a lot of things to ask for. He actually switches in, which means he has another Crobat. So he's going to draw 3. Do we see a boss here? And maybe a few more Pokemon. Could be wild. Could be wild.
I think if we saw the if we saw the Pokemon, we've already seen the Pokemon.
Okay.
If we see the boss, we already would have seen the boss. No?
He's just going to attack it. I think getting the damage off either way is smart.
Yeah, it's better than attacking into a Hoopa for the most part.
Man, if he got the KO there, man, wow. But the hammer was huge. Missing that hammer. Yeah, missing that hammer, though. Yeah, the top deck quick ball is very nice. But, you know, potentially if Trainer Chip hits that hammers, he's in a... I mean, he's in a decent spot now, but a much better spot, realistically. And now, if you're Boo, you don't really want to evolve this VMAX because it's going to get KO next turn. Maybe we see a Power Accelerator. Is that maybe the best option here to end this turn?
A Power Accelerator is the almost exact same thing as just attaching energy to a bench Pokemon. So, I mean, maybe a Power Accelerator... Yeah, maybe Power Accelerator is the best way.
Well, he could attach and...
Yeah, you attach to the bench and go for the energy, that's cool.
Right. I mean, that's...
But then Chip could also just get Crushing Hammer and Boss.
Right.
And nullify that whole turn. I think this is really more of a... Trainer Chip is very much in command.
Do you ever burn that Boss sack and maybe try to pull up a Crobat or a Zigzagoon, maybe try to keep that in the active spot? As a defensive play? Do you think that's ever even worth it?
You need to get a Crushing Hammer because Chip could also just retreat at any given points. I think getting rid of the energy there is probably a mistake. I don't know entirely what's going to go on here.
He's going to switch into a Hoopa, which is interesting.
Yeah, I think that's the defensive play that you went with. I think I like your idea better for the Power Accelerator play. But I don't know if it does anything at this point. The game just looks very much behind.
It's so, these games are so decided so early, which is you know, of course, a criticism a lot of people I think have of the standard format right now. But realistically, you know, it's kind of like chess, you know, where like no matter what, things can happen later in the game, but the first few turns are just so important. Kind of a strange predicament from Boo. I mean, I think the defensive boss is just, it has to happen here. We're not going to see a Power Accelerator, which is almost better because I guess you don't want to leave that Etern V in the active, right? I mean, even though it's only 2 prizes, I guess potentially the best option. All right. From Chip here, Zach, what do you think we're looking for from Chip here? You think maybe just a switch boss KO?
Chip's probably going to try to get damage onto that fresh Eternatus V, if not a knockout. So I think Chip's really trying to find a way to the active, a boss, and of course, Etern's always looking for something. It's either an energy or another few Pokemon. So I mean, these are all the general things, but I really think just a way to get out of the active and a boss would really be all that Chip's looking for here.
I agree. He's down 1 boss. I believe he's only down 1 boss. I don't know if there's a second one in there. Trip really thinking this through here. I think this is probably the most important turn of the entire set so far. And we'll see. So we're seeing a quick ball. Most definitely for, well, I mean, depends on what he has in his hand already. But you would gotta think he's going to try to Crobat this turn. Kind of looks like he doesn't have a switch in hand, or else it probably would have been played. So that's probably the first and foremost most important thing here. Although if you don't have boss, do you even need switch, realistically? Grabbing another Etern is also very...
Probably not. I think that Chip could even just like manually retreat.
True.
That's always an option, just like
into like Yveltal
energy to be active.
Yeah.
Depends on what Chip has in their hand.
It's true.
Sure.
We didn't see him grab a Crobat. Yeah. Okay. So are we gonna see? Oh, he's got the... Wow. That's
So
big.
not a knockout, but it's still just keeps on applying that pressure
Mm.
because those are the only E-turns. So the way that Chip's looking at this game, they're like, okay, if Boo does not put down another E-turn, I already have 2 of my attacks on Eternatus VMAX is done. It doesn't matter when they evolve. I win the game in 2 turns,
Right,
basically.
right. And you're putting it in a position where, like, he has to evolve, right? Because you can't not evolve in this matchup into the VMAX to attack. But if you do, you know, you're getting one-shotted there. I wonder what that last card in his hand is. If it's like a Research or a Marnie or even a Quick Ball or something, this game could be a little bit absurd. He is going to be able to grab a VMAX here if he so chooses. Looking for those hammers, man.
There is a way for Boo here to win this game as well.
For sure.
And that would be by attacking into this Eternatus VMAX. And when Chip tries to power up that Etern V on the bench, if that's a possibility, getting a Crushing Hammer off on that might seal the deal for Chip losing the game. So as much as it's so far in Chip's favor this game, the lack of Crushing Hammers that Boo's played really means that they could hit hard in the late game. And that's Trainer Chip having to retreat last turn. Really makes this game a little bit more interesting.
Yeah, no, for sure. And it's definitely a little bit sketchy when you know your opponent's got the hammers left in deck, and you know you're in kind of a susceptible spot here. And we don't know, like maybe Chip's one card in his hand could be a pretty, like a dead card, a not useful card. And if we do see a hammer here, so he's just going to attack there, he's not going to dig further. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll have to see exactly what Chip does this turn.
Get the energy Marnie. Wow.
There's a Marnie.
Wow.
The Marnie's gonna hurt there because it's gonna give Boo an extra couple cards. But I don't know. Chip seems to know exactly what they're doing with that Marnie. I definitely that's a good hand to Marnie your opponent into.
Oh man. Yeah, we're going to see the second VMAX there. Always good to have that early. You know, you don't want to struggle to find that. We're going to see a nice 3 prizes here, and then he's got a full HP Etern on the bench. You know, Boo here doesn't really have any direct way to finish off this Etern in the active spot either, which...
Oh, no.
Ooh.
That's definitely choosing the wrong Pokemon.
Was that a misclick, you think? Or maybe he's just kind of...
I'd say that has to be a misclick. Now there's no option to attack.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Well, I mean, maybe you go for a Hoopa here to finish off a KO. It's possible. I think Evil Admonition should be doing enough there. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Pokemon here on the board. So I guess what are you hitting for? 110? It's actually not enough. Sadly.
Yeah, I think that's like... That would have been a hand where they still could have won this game.
Right. I just don't understand.
They had to misclick on the Pokemon thinking that they were sending it up first. In any way, like they would have just like left that on the bench with an energy in play.
There's no reason not to.
Instead of just discarded a Crobat. So I'm gonna give Boo the benefit of the doubt that maybe they sent up the wrong Pokemon. Or attempted to send up the right Pokemon.
I agree. It's going to be an early concession there. We do see the full play set on the board of the Shiny Crobat. It's always kind of cool to see that. But we're going to go to a Game 3 for the last ever Chill Series tournament of the Team Up through Vivid, I guess, Shining Fates format for now. So definitely exciting. It's anyone's game at this point. I think there's over 80 Vivid packs on the line, so always nice to get those packs here. But... the clout is what's important here. Getting this win is just huge for both players. And I think they're both definitely very hungry. And it all comes down to this last game, Zach. Super, super excited. What do you think of this starting hand from Boo here? I think it's not terrible.
You can start with Sneasel. I mean, Great Ball could grab an Etern.
Got the energy.
Chip seems like they're going to be happy going first, but this is one of those things where the fire's under Chip immediately, being, can you find Etern and an energy and survive a Crushing Hammer? And I think it's a lot going first. Right.
I think it's one of those things where, you know, if you don't get punished going first, then obviously very, very good. But not only do you have to find those cards without the access of a supporter turn 1, meaning the Etern and the energy, but you can also get punished with a hammer and your opponent power accelerating. So a little bit of a gamble for Chip, but it worked out for him last game. And I think he's kind of banking on that. We do see him come for the Etern. Potentially has the energy in hand. And he does, of course. We're going to see him building Spite here. And now it's all comes down, really, I mean, I guess it doesn't, but you really do want to find an Etern off this Great Ball. You know, he's got the supporters, but it would be very big.
I think I'm going to go for a bat here. Usually when you play out your hand, it's usually better to go bat now. Means Chip probably also has support in hand. But again, one Crushing Hammer just wipes Chip's turn right off the board.
Right.
So, I mean, if you're Boo, you're really looking for an Etern, and you're looking for a Crushing Hammer.
Whiffs the Etern. Yeah, that's not Eterns there. And I don't think you grab any, yeah, because you really can't. And man,
I think it's better to go Zigzagoon, drop that Crobat like it's hot, improving your chances to get Etern and Crushing Hammer.
And then maybe
so trying to draw those cards one by one, because if you just go blind Marnie, it's really awkward.
Ooh, yeah, it's a tough play.
Boo's braver than I.
Ooh, there's okay. Well, no Etern, but he's got 2 hammers, so realistically, you are buying yourself some time here. And I think that it's honestly worth just. Well, I guess it's worth attaching just because the potential to Weavile and move it.
Attach because of Weavile.
Yeah.
The big issue though is not getting an Etern down to move that down, and I think that's really why I said to play the Crobat. If we see a quick ball top deck in the next couple turns, Great Ball and Etern, we'll know for certain that it was a misplay.
Wow.
And there's Chip going strong with that hammer. Boom.
It's almost like nothing ever happened here. Although the Etern VMAX here and the overall board state, of course, of Chip is more ideal, I would say. But you're gonna have to dig. You're gonna have to find an energy, my man. That is very important. Kirby is down 2 hammers already. Chip is down 1, so keep that in mind. He's gonna Crobat for 5. Was that 5 or 4? I didn't notice.
Who also only plays the 3 hammers as well.
So
there's only 1 hammer left where Chip has 3.
No energy, perhaps?
Energy?
Man, that would be...
That could be it. Chip could count it like self-crushing hammer himself.
It's technically, this feels like it, right? It does feel like it. Let's see. I mean, he could be holding on to it. Could be doing one of those, right? But man, oh man. Who knew an Etern mirror could be so entertaining?
I mean, I've never thought that Etern was entertaining, bro. I don't know what game you're watching here.
I think it's entertaining.
Hammer Olympics, bro.
Bro, I think it's entertaining though. I mean, I think Hammers is entertaining, and I think just the fact that it's game 3, I don't know. I'm entertained. I hope people watching here on the Chill TCG YouTube channel also are entertained here. We are going to see a power plant, which could be very big. Realistically, I mean, Kirby does have the swell in his deck, but that does stop Weavile potentially, right, for the next turn or 2.
So something that I kind of wish I looked over when we were analyzing both decks. Power Plant normally does nothing against Etern, but in this Weavile build, it is going to show off that specific ability. So
could be the difference.
I just say that Chip's list is a little bit more to the meta game, I'd say.
Yeah, I think it's a bit more ideal in the matchup. Just having 4 hammers, even that power plant, things like that. I just think, this Weavile list is super cool, right? But if I had to, misses the energy this turn.
We could see a jump back.
Yeah.
We could see a jump back. Now, maybe not with this hand.
Well, I mean, you still have Weavile, but the power plant's active. It's definitely an awkward position, and you got to think that Trainer Chip might have access to a hammer next turn as well.
Maybe Chip will miss another energy. That's what Boo's got to be banging on.
Yeah.
Maybe Chip will miss the energy, bro.
That's what it's been coming down to, hasn't it? And it's kind of awkward, right? I mean, do you evolve this Weavile and potentially get KO'd?
Well, I don't think you get KO'd. I think you evolve.
Just because you're safe next turn no matter what, right?
Yeah, you're safe no matter what. I think it's better to evolve at this point, hoping that Chip, in search of the energy, Marnie is your terrible hand away. I mean, that's what Boo's got to hope, is that no energy on Chip's behalf.
Right.
Marnie's things around, and then you can get an Etern. At this point, there's nothing to lose. The way that I look at it, Boo's lost this game. Skate around, see how it goes.
Right, you got to stick it out, and hopefully things turn out for you here. Now this is the interesting part.
Jump off a cliff with no repercussions because you're already dying. You'd be like, okay, let's try to run down. Let's be Spider-Man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Boo's probably lost this game right now, regardless of Chip missing the energy or anything like that. Go for the Weavile. Whenever you're in a really rough spot, go for that gutsy play.
For sure.
That's where it's gonna count.
Yeah, you got nothing to. Yeah, I mean, you got nothing to lose, man.
100 game, right? Like we need to be like Chip's missing the energy, or I'm top picking this or something. Like,
right.
Start praying to whatever you're praying to.
Okay, yeah. So we are gonna see a Marnie.
This is step 1.
Yeah.
Chip's digging.
He's digging. Kirby's like, you know what? My hand wasn't the best. Let's see if he gets Marnied into anything any better. I think a swell could be huge for him right now. The Crobat. Okay, good hand. It's a good hand. We have the. Uh-oh. Okay. Is there another one? We do get the energy, and now he's going to Crobat for 4 here. Potentially.
Actually, is that an energy on Etern V, or is that a VMAX? I think that's
it's on the V. It is a V. Yep.
Which is interesting to put it on that Pokemon out of all the Pokemon available.
Well, I think Chip's idea is like, you know, I'm probably not getting attacked at all this turn, and you know, that Etern doesn't have any damage. So maybe that was the idea of it.
Is that 10 damage on an Etern VMAX?
Yeah. 10 damage is 10 damage, bro.
Yeah, I don't even know how that happened with the Zigzag. Like, it's
you know,
not going to matter.
You know, Zach, this is something that Chip actually did earlier in the tournament, where it was a bit hard for him to recognize with the black and gold cards which one was the V and the VMAX. So again, that could have been a mistake.
They don't seem to understand that all the cards look the same at the end of the day. Like, you could play the full arts or something like that, or the hyper rares or something. I think you go on both. Sure, there's certainly like some of the nicest looking cards in the game. I don't know how y'all pay attention to that.
I agree. Okay, still a little bit awkward here for Boo, but you know, at least things are moving. At least the gears are grinding. He's actually going to calm away the VMAX. And could we potentially see? Is he just digging? Probably just looking through his deck. He's probably going to re-grab the VMAX.
No, I think we're going to see a supporter being played this turn. I don't know what the point of grabbing nothing is. And even just putting back the VMAX, I think putting back something else would have been a little bit better. I don't know how many VMAX were in the deck.
I think there was 2 in the deck.
If there's 2 in the deck, I would have put back the Crobat because that seems a little bit more important here.
Yeah, this is an interesting sort of line here. He's like, what was my sequencing right there? What did I even just do?
Yeah, I think they're. Yeah, it's really sad to see the back go away. But at this point, I don't really know what's being searched for, and I think that's the
last hammer. That is the last hammer, man. So kind of your final failsafe is a bit harsh, and you still haven't found that swell to move that energy over to the Etern.
I mean, if we're talking about praying, I think Boo needs to hope that Chip tries to attack with the Etern V, not realizing that it's not a VMAX. And,
that would be
the fact that Chip is rectifying his earlier mistake.
Yeah.
I think
off the Great Ball too.
That prayer has not been answered.
Not at all. If we see an energy switch boss, that will be the game most likely, in my opinion. Even though it might already be. So we're gonna see a Marnie. So it doesn't have that specific line in hand, and we're not gonna see the boss here. Now, if you're Chip, do you KO this goon here, or do you maybe just sit? Oh yeah.
I think you attack with Zigzagoon because you don't need to worry about.
Right.
You attack the Zigzagoon with Spiritomb, I should say, because you don't need to worry about Crushing Hammer anymore.
Right.
So it doesn't matter how many Weaviles there are at this point. Chip's like, cool, I drew the first prize card, and I don't need to worry about Crushing Hammers. Who needs Weavile now?
And this hand is still pretty awkward if you're Boo here. I think that one prize card was huge because now you can freely boss up a Weavile or a Crobat for the last 2 prize cards after, of course, you deal with a VMAX here.
Yeah.
And okay. So if Boo here finds a boss
and a switch or a boss, yeah, just a boss is fine because that is the evil admonition one. I always think the Hoopas look all the same too.
Well, this guy does have a retreat cost of 2. He does have a retreat cost of 2. And he already attached, so he is going to need the switch. It's a lot to ask for off this Crobat, Zach. But we'll see. You don't even need a switch. I think just getting damage off on a Etern. He's going to... Okay. Does find the swell.
So, I mean, I think this is literally it. Does Chip have boss and an energy?
Right.
Question mark.
Or a way to find it, right? If you KO the Spiritomb, that's another board space for him to potentially play down a Crobat.
But now, like, what Chip's done with that Spiritomb has now been, like, Spiritomb's in your face, you have to hit it. You can't hide
Right,
now.
exactly. Deal with it, right? I mean, he's... Okay, so we see the second VMAX. And, ooh. You gotta do it. You gotta do it, but you have to KO the Spiritomb. There's no other choice.
170, boom.
170 is pretty good right now for a Hoopa. You know, just off a Crobat KO. Now it's going to be even less technically, but yeah, we'll see. It all comes down to what's in Chip's hand right now. The empty board space is huge. He's down 2 Marnie and a research and a boss in terms of supporters, and we don't know if that last Crobat is prized, but I got to assume it's not.
Yeah, Chip's probably just thinking it out.
Yeah.
Being like, are these Eternatus VMAXs or are they Vs? I think that's what Chip's just got to make sure that there's the energy. That's step one.
I've never seen somebody think so much about placing down the energy. So he puts down the Tomb, which means he probably does have a supporter in hand, I would think.
Maybe nothing. Or maybe nothing.
This is interesting.
Maybe that other Spiritomb is just gone. Well, there's a Power Plant. And that's going to knock out the Chaotic Swell.
I still think this is a good idea. I think this is a good idea because you're not getting KO'd this turn, right, with this Etern V. And really you just hope, and he's all had a hammers, right? So you just hope that to find energy in the next 2 turns and you pretty much win the game.
No, that's actually wrong.
He's got 4. Yeah, sorry, he's got 4 prize cards.
He's got 4 prize cards.
Oh, dang.
So he actually,
it's awkward.
Yeah. Now.
Boss game.
Boo gets the first attack in.
Boss game.
Boss attach.
Yes.
So Chip does not have those cards. I think we're actually going to see Boo take this game. I think Chip's deck kind of screwed around a little bit too much on him. I don't know. It's crazy.
Well, yeah, it's true. I mean, if you attack with this Etern, you could finish it off with a Spiritomb. But then you don't have anything after that once the Spiritomb gets killed.
You have to worry about boss still. So,
okay.
No boss. Did find the energy. Now, you gotta look and see, does Chip play Reset Stamp? Chip does not play Reset Stamp.
It's tough. I think it's all of a sudden it's in Boo's favor now. I think he's just ahead in terms of...
the game is thrown back in Boo's favor.
For sure.
Now, Boo just needs to properly thin cards out to improve chances against a Marnie to draw into a boss. That's really where the next level of play is going to be. Where it's like, will you take the cards that you no longer need for the game and be able to put those either at the bottom of your deck, in your discard pile, see exactly what's going on. And furthermore, switching to push it to another boss, potentially adding an extra turn.
Absolutely massive here.
Oh.
Wait.
Not even more than that.
This is huge.
Tagging with the Hoopa.
Huge brain plays. You might as well just keep it safe. Keep it secret. If you need to, right? Interesting.
The issue that I have with this play, actually...
Wait a minute.
It would have been...
Yeah.
No. It would have been better to attack with the Eternatus V.
That's true.
VMAX, because you'd have game in hands.
Right, and now...
Now the research seems incredibly awkward because you're set into a situation where you need to have 2 energies. So these are the minute situations where I don't want to say that Boo's throwing, but definitely did not see the whole game and now is putting their win con at the bottom of their deck if they play that.
Right, exactly. And I think you KO with the Hoopa here, but the next turn, if Chip has the energy, he goes into Etern, attacks the Hoopa, and then both players are just a boss away from winning.
I mean, we're gonna see if Chip plays a Marnie, Boo will be able to draw back into that boss.
It's true. That is true.
You have the boss at the bottom of the deck.
This
play does not need to happen.
No, it didn't. It really didn't at all. But he's gonna take 3 prizes here, and you never know what's off these 3 prizes. Nothing super needed.
If Chip just goes boss, attack, or no, if Chip just goes attack,
and then has boss for next turn, and then Boo, and then
a 33% chance that Kirby draws a boss.
That's true. Oh, and this wasn't needed, right? There was no reason.
There was no reason at all. That was completely getting.
Well, he's got energy in hand, but yeah, that was pretty huge. If we see a second hammer, bro, does Chip have another hammer left?
Not going to matter because Chip would need to get multiple because remember, there's still that Weavile
Oh,
GX.
yeah, it's true because the Etern,
I
yeah.
can always move energies to the other one, or if they get the knockout on that one.
Yep.
I think as long as Chip does not play Marnie.
And you gotta hope that he recognizes that, right? Potentially we see maybe a research in hand after playing that Yveltal down. If he whiffs energy here, that's
what?
I don't think he.
That is, I mean, I don't see how that's not game at this point.
Right, I think that's settled.
Actually, no, because it's just going to be improving the chances of getting boss. So I mean, there's no boss in hands. There's no point of playing anything else down. Oh, there's a Crobat in this card pile. I guess it doesn't matter. I'm not entirely sure if there's a world where Boo actually loses this game. I think it's if the boss just doesn't happen.
If it's at the very bottom.
Chip's going to have to get a knockout on the active. Chip's 2 turns away from winning this game. But
Boo's 1 turn.
This game is just...
Yeah. Well, I think Kirby right now, if he wants to, can just research and guarantee game next turn, right?
That would be they would deck out.
Oh, that's true because then they're gonna draw next turn.
If Chip gets an energy here, Chip probably wins this game. The odds are still stacked against Boo to get that energy. It's only 2 out of 5, so a 40% chance.
He needs boss, right? He needs the top deck boss. But
there's 2 bosses in that 5-card deck, and the boss has been accurately shuffled through the deck.
Oof.
So the odds are anything.
But Chip needs a boss. Like they both need boss.
They need a boss. They need a boss, but Chip has more opportunities to get boss.
It's true. That is true. He's got the bench space, perhaps for the last Crobat. Maybe he has boss in hand because he only has 1 in the discard. Here it comes, the top deck of the century. Oh, maybe. I mean, you gotta
never punished.
Never. Well,
never punished.
You know what? Probably the most fitting end to this format I could have ever imagined. Etern Mirror coming down to a boss's orders. Top deck. It's just absolutely, the best swan song you could have possibly thought of. Absolutely ridiculous. I don't know what to say. Both players, of course, played absolutely fantastic to get here. Congratulations to Boo, Kirby there for winning Chill Series number 23. And big congratulations to Trainer Chip for playing tremendously and making it all the way to finals. We're going to sign off. I've been Matty from Chill TCG. Thanks, Zach, for coming on, helping with the commentary. It means a lot. Always good to have you. And make sure you guys tune in later today as I post this. It is going to be Thursday morning, Thursday evening, or I guess at 1 p.m. We are doing a live stream opening for Battle Styles, and Zach should be live as well that day for the release party. So definitely go check it out on both our channels. Super, super excited. Chill Series 23, Zach, what do you think?
Chill Series 23, it's been an interesting one. Interesting is going to be my word of choice.
For sure. All right, guys.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thanks, guys, for watching. We'll be back later today. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to click subscribe. Shout out to the channel members. Playing Chill Series number 24 next week. The tournament page isn't open yet, but it is free entry, 200 Battle Styles packs. It's going to be hype. All right, we're signing off. Let's get out of here, Zach. Peace out, guys.
Take it easy.